now, I guess I should say I'm not saying anything. Okay, well, let's play the liner and okay. No.
Hey, this is Daryl Campbell with Ghost Hunting Southern Style, and you're listening to the Malliard Report on Shark Radio Network.
Hey everybody, it's the Malliard Report. It's the Malliard.
Okay, I'm live on the Shark Radio Network, and people are wondering why the shark. Is anyone else's audio screwed up? That's a good question. I know I'm broadcasting, so let's see if anybody else has any problems. Might need to see, I'm talking like you can hear me. I don't hear any on the video. Oh, listen to me, I'm talking again like they can understand me. There you go. Okay, yeah, distracted. Yeah. Welcome to the Malliard Report on the Shark Radio Network. Why the shark? Fate Radio was bought out, and we're looking for bigger and better things from the shark. So how exciting is that? Very exciting for me. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so here we are. Okay, so what is Russ? Russ, you still around there, brother?
I'm hanging around here.
I've been so used to talking about the spark coming up that I didn't prepare for the spark being over.
Uh-oh.
So I've got Russ Stiver from Collective Paranormal on here, so...
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Just going to dive right in here on the Malliard Report on the Shark Radio Network. I'm going to say it like 700 times, the first part of the show.
Hey, go for it. Shameless plugs.
Well, just to get it ingrained in my head, because I got so used to saying the other one that it's going to take a while to get used to the new one, but that's okay. Okay, so how are you doing today, Russ? Let's start with the easy questions.
Actually, I think that would be a harder question. No, I'm doing all right. I kind of got some rest and relaxation from the weekend. CPRS was frantically running around on Thursday and Friday trying to get things ready for the Spark. And Sunday, we kind of sat around a little bit, kind of recouped a little bit, and got everything unpacked. And then started networking with the teams we met on Saturday.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was it was a fair turnout. I'm not gonna really say it was overwhelming, but it was a fair turnout. I'll give it credit for what it was.
For what it was, honestly, it was to get, paranormal awareness out there. That was one of the big reasons for it. But, even if you didn't pull a lot of the public attention with it and everything else, it was the first year for it. But you did a lot of good with bringing a lot of different teams together.
Yeah, that was wonderful too. So.
Oh yeah, we were meeting everyone like you said, and on the round table. We had two investigators from Ohio, one from PA, one from Michigan, and one from New York. How often you get 5 different investigators from different states in one area at one time?
I can't say I've ever. I've been paying attention to the marketing of these events, and I can't say I've ever seen a round table listed like that anywhere. And so I'm excited to be the first. Well, I'm probably not the first to ever do it, but the first I've
You're
seen.
You're the first to do it and not charge $100 a ticket.
Okay, I'll take that. For the investigators to be on the round table, or for the event?
I don't know. I didn't pay anything, but when I tried to hand you some money at the end of the day, you looked like you were insulted.
Well, because I hadn't taken money all day, truthfully. That wasn't my gig, and you know what I'm saying? So when somebody does, it kind of caught me off guard.
Okay, I do have to say, my dad, Ken, in the chat right now, we were talking on the way home, and
he wanted a table.
Yeah, I was talking to him like, so what do you think of the entire thing? How'd the round table go and everything else? He's like, and I'm always, my dad's feedback is pretty much the most important out of, my paranormal career, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't even know if you want to call it a career, but it is what it is.
I think Ken said it right Saturday. It's a lifestyle, but okay.
It is. I mean, in the lifestyle, I mean, he's the one that got me into it. He's taught me everything about it, and I really wanted to, on how I did representing the group, how exactly how everything did, that day, how everything went, and what he thought of everything. And the first words out of his mouth were, I'm really disappointed. And I'm like, oh, great, and it's just like my stomach just sank. And he's like, you know what? When you originally said round table, he's like, I thought we were all going to be sitting around a table. He's like, there wasn't even a table there to sit at.
I had my mic muted. I was actually looking around the building for a round table Friday night when we were setting up. But they rented, well, anyways, I'm not going to slam them too hard under the bus, but they rented all their other tables out of the building. So
nice.
So all the tables we had, can get tables for us so we had our correct amount. So, yeah, it was kind of ugly. There was an ugly situation. Well, I can't remember, but yeah, there was quite a moment there between their executive director and my wife. So,
it seemed the day started out pretty good for you, anyways. I mean, especially from what you were telling me when we first showed up, it seemed like you had your hands full.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about that. Actually, I'm going to let some other people.
Yeah, let's not do that. We'll move past that.
Well, I'll just go this route with it. I'm going to let somebody else handle that for me, and when the time comes, I will mention what's going on with that.
Cool.
So
that works. Take your time, go through the right channels.
Yeah, I've got some stuff I have to get done before I can. I'll what the procedure is going to be for that, but the procedure. So,
and now that you say the word procedure, Jim, I kind of have to bring up something. When we were doing our roundtable discussion, and you went to Ashley and Ken, asking what our new procedure is, you pretty much just skipped right over my dad and I at the end of it.
Well, it's hard. It was hard. That was a hard part of that conversation went so fluid. Okay, let's talk about your new member procedure because for some reason I must have thought that I started over there.
No. What it was Mark and Brian from Summit Paranormal had come in and sat down.
Are they in the chat room? We'll blame them. If they're not, we'll still blame them. Okay, good. We can blame them.
Yeah, there is somebody in Summit Paranormal's in the chat room right now. I'm not sure if that's Mark or Brian or who it is. But,
well, welcome to the Shark. I hope they come back.
No.
So,
yeah, I mean, it was just it's not that I mind. I really didn't. Our new member procedure really, isn't as strenuous as how Ken had said or how Ashley had said or how you had said. Our group primarily is based up of a lot of really close personal friends. Friends and family members. We have 13 people in our group, and off the top of my head here, 5 of the original members of the group came from another group, so we had already investigated together prior to forming CPRS. Of course, my dad is the one that got me into it, and I started bringing on people that I had known since I was young, when I was in high school and middle school and things like that, who other people who actually have a passion for this as well. And I mean, it's kind of grown to what we have. I really tried not to laugh too hard when Ken from Portal said that, I have a small group. I only have, what did he say, like 20-some members or something like that?
I think I've seen football teams smaller than his team, but that's...
I think I have, too. I mean, he should start a paranormal softball league. I mean, he really should up in Michigan.
Well, at least they could play each other, at least.
Exactly, But, no, I mean, it's one of those things, we really we don't go through, the application process. Myself, I'm really good at reading people. I can tell if someone is shooting me a line of shit right off the bat.
Ken just said 19, by the way.
Okay, yeah, 19.
We skipped a few.
Yeah.
We added a few.
Well, I'm sure he'll add a
we're
couple
having
more
we're
by the end
having
of the week.
psychic visions. He's going to add to in the next week.
Yeah, he will. He will. Didn't he say he has applications sitting at home right now?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm having interviews Sunday. So, interviews. It sounds plural, but I have at least one scheduled. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, CPRS really, we're just a really small, tight-knit group of people. I mean, we are all in this for the same reasons. We know why we're in this. We don't stray from why we're in it. I mean, it's just, it's my dad, his wife, now my stepsister, Barb, and it's just Eric. You met Eric, of course.
Mm-hmm.
He had to take off to go to the Indians game, or Pirates game.
Yeah, I guess they won the other night, but not the night he was there.
No. I mean, the night before they actually really got spanked by the Padres. What was it, 15-5 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And I thought the Indians were horrible.
Oh, Ken makes a very valid point. CPRS has killer shirts, and I have one in the building, but I do not have it on right now.
Oh, well, I'm not.
Good thing this is a radio program. I use the video to record myself. That's the only reason I use video. So.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Ken. And you, Jim. Our shirts, that's been something. A couple months in the process right now. Our Patrick, who was at the Spark as well. He is actually our screen printer for us. We had some of his business cards laying out on the table as well, and he really, I mean, he doesn't have a digital printing machine. He does everything by screens. He does all the ink work himself. I remember Wednesday night and Thursday, him and I were sitting down in his shop for a couple hours, making sure these shirts were going to get done, and I mean, he really pulled it out and did awesome. I mean, the shirts. When I pulled up to pick up the shirts from him, he had one on, and just the way they fell and how they looked really, really awesome. I mean, I can't say more. Any paranormal teams out there that need anything done, look them up on Facebook, Lane Promotional, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, Patrick Lane is the gentleman's name. And he'll get a hold of you. He's been getting a lot of orders right now, and he does a fantastic job.
Okay, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something crazy here.
Sure.
I was lagging behind because I was running around all day. So
Sure.
I was gonna make a video of pictures from the Spark and all this fun stuff to be playing right now, but I'm running behind. So actually, I'm gonna pop up a picture from the Spark here of me and Rick. I can't remember how to say his last name, but he was one of our guest speakers, and I'm going to take a few seconds here and pop it up, but I don't have my audio connected through it, so we can't talk over it, so just bear with me.
Not a problem.
I'll show you.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
There we go. Well, now that you missed the image, but I'll put it back up here in a few minutes.
No, I saw it. I saw the last little bit of it.
Okay. Yeah, I forget there's such a delay between what I'm doing and what's going on, but there's one. I'm working. I've got a few more here. I think maybe I'm trying to scramble around Facebook and find them because I know you have a few up, and that one was from Sherry of Kindred Spirits. So.
Okay. Yeah, I talked to them. Really nice people. Steel City, Wasp. I mean, of course, Ken from Portal. It was good talking to Mark and Brian during the roundtable from Summit.
Yeah, it was good to talk. I mean, it was an interesting curveball that I didn't expect, but it made it work just as well as I could have imagined. So. Yeah,
and I kind of have a beef with you on that. All of us had tables and everything set up.
Yeah.
You had all your stuff up on an air hockey table.
Right.
I don't know if anyone else does that.
Well, again, they rented all their tables out, so we were making do of the pool table and the air hockey table. Yes, not my original idea. I mean, as you can imagine, the pool a little bit awkward to deal with.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
The air hockey table because I planned on having two tables and more junior investigators to do they're basically that stuff off of, but yeah, anyways, it was as they just in the moment when you're doing one of those events, like get would be one of those. If you write it all out and then stop what you can't get very disappointed at the end of the day.
Oh, definitely. You know what? You could plan everything all day long, and you know what? It's still not going to show out, the way you expect it to. So, what is it? What is the old saying? Adapt and overcome.
You have no choice but to.
Exactly. I mean, you change things on the fly. You keep going, and I think honestly, with the many curveballs that were thrown at you on Saturday, you did an excellent job with it.
Okay.
I mean, everything flowed smoothly and went awesome.
I just try to keep it moving. That's all you can do. So, and people were asking me how many paid emissions. I'm going to get to that here at the bottom of the hour. I actually have some sort of relevant idea.
Sure.
What I'm trying to do. Not really. I'm just making stuff up again. Keep them listening for a few minutes. Actually, right now I've got a picture of our roundtable up there. I did pretty good.
Awesome.
I just stole it off your Facebook page.
Hey, go for it. I tagged you in them for a reason.
I know. I've got to get them posted back around, and it's been busy. My weekend, we went to Fran's, and we did. Well, if you listened to Just Roll here on the Shark, you heard all of us sitting around her kitchen table because we were out there having a cookout after the event and kind of unwinding, and it was really good. Really, we needed it as a team because we've been so, bent over the rocks about this, I guess, is the easiest way to put it.
I bet you have.
And then Monday we went up to Erie to get some. Had to get some personal things taken care of, and then today we had to go to Pittsburgh to get some other personal things taken care of. So it's been. I haven't been home yet.
Hey, that. I mean, you do what you need to do to take care of some things.
Yeah, it was just it's one of those things that tomorrow I'm supposed to stay home, so we'll see. Supposed to.
Yeah. How well is that going to work?
Well, when I was in Pittsburgh today, I made a list of things I needed to do, and there were several that I needed to go back out of the house for. So.
Yeah. I see. Well, I do have to give it to everyone on Meadville Paranormal. I mean, that you guys did an awesome job setting that up. That was, for it being CPRS's first event, we went into it not knowing what to expect. We didn't know if we were going to bring too much for our table, not enough for our table, but you know what? It was the first one we ever did. It was the first time that I actually did a round table like that. I mean, I've done 6 or 7 different radio shows, but you know what? It's nothing like speaking in front of people.
That's true for sure, because I've been doing this show. I mean, I've been doing this end of the show for, I think this is the 10th Malliard Report, so doing this show by myself for, 10 of them. But then looking up and seeing, not being, well, you can see in the picture there, I've got my legs crossed, and I'm folding the notes, and I'm doing all the stuff that I normally do during my show.
You know what, honestly, when you get into a good topic, like we did during the roundtable, all 5 of us going back and forth and everything, our friendly exchange of words. But when you get into a topic, everybody that's sitting out in the audience and everyone that's listening in, you kind of put them out of your head.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It just, it was one of those things where they don't even matter anymore. It's just you're talking to the people that you're talking to. Oh yeah, there was. Okay, so there was the 5 of us up there, and then Mark and Brian joined in on us. There were 7 of us having this conversation, and not a crossword, not a heated word, not even a. Oh no, not at all.
Nothing that would no para interest, let alone drama.
Oh, you know what? And I tell you what, ironically, when we started talking about the how you handle, your protection prayers and things like that, I always try to stray away from the religion aspect of it. I really do, because everyone has their own opinion, and that's one of the easiest things to argue about is money, religion, and politics, and those are the 3 subjects I try to avoid at all possible costs. But we're all in this to learn from each other, and my dad, Ken, after we got home, posted on our group page, protection prayer before and after each investigation and things, because of my recent experiences up at Madison lately. Things have become a lot more aggressive.
Why don't you go ahead and tell people what's going on there? Because I know I've heard the story, but not all of our listeners have.
Okay, what did you want me to tell about it? I mean, it's there's many things I could tell about it.
Just give the brief synopsis, I guess. We don't need to go too far gone, but just so people have an idea of what an investigator would go through on any given day, because it wasn't even an investigation.
Well, I mean, worst
this was
case
going
scenario.
on.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I went up there and this experience happened to me, I wasn't even up there investigating. I was just up there.
So
I mean, what had happened was one of my buddies is a photographer, and he was looking to do an abandoned building, kind of, a gothic, kind of shit. I need a link for his page, and you actually see some of the pictures we did up there. But I've been up to Madison. This was my probably 14th time going back up to Madison. It was on a Monday. I mean, we weren't doing an investigation. We were just there to help out. I'm helping him out along with them. And myself, another one of my team members, who's also a sensitive. Dana, who's the photographer, and who was the model that we were shooting. Immediately when we walked into the building, Dana didn't feel comfortable. He pulled me aside. He's like, up on the third floor, I'm really, I feel like something's watching me. I feel like and third floor is really, the exposed flooring board and things. And probably about 2 hours into our shoot, we were up on the second floor, and the model complaining about how her side was hurting. And, I didn't think anything of it. And she's like, no, it's really starting to burn. So she takes out the strap. She had 4 scratch marks going across her rib cage. I'm like, okay, I'm like, you guys need to get off the floor, leave. We were, Aaron and myself stayed up there, and I started talking. They've never been here before. They've never experienced something like this before. You really need to, you can't do that. So we go downstairs, we go outside, we're going to smoke a cigarette and everything. We're just standing there relaxing, and all of a sudden my rib cage starts hurting, and I've had health problems the past couple weeks. I have a couple in my rib cage, so I thought, I figured it was just that. So, I lifted up my shirt, and sure enough, I had 4 scratch marks going across my rib cage in about the same position that the model did. So, at this point, I get pissed off. I go up to the second floor again with, actually, Dana, the photographer, came with me. At the beginning, I have a protection medallion that I always wear. And after the model was scratched, he took that off and gave it to her. I went back up onto the second floor, started walking around the floor saying, okay, I don't mind you scratching me. I've had it happen to me before. I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared of you. So we walk around a little bit. I'm not really anything. Down photographer in front of me, and I look at back 4 scratch marks. Okay, I says, so Aaron comes back up with me, and I'm standing there, and I do a short protection prayer for myself, since I had already been attacked. And we leave, we go back down to the area. Looks at me, goes, hey, you do a picture of your side. He's like, I've never been around anything like this before. I really, I want to get it on film. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So I lift up my shirt again, and next thing I knew, I had another set of scratch marks there. So, and that was an investigation.
Like I said, that was a story that I wanted you to tell, because I know we're talking about the spark tonight. We'll get back through it if you feel.
Oh yeah, of course.
I
mean, but you know what? Like I said at the round table, it's I mean, you go in expecting everything.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just it could happen anywhere at any time. I don't think that
I don't think an attack is reserved for certain people or certain locations. It can happen to anyone, and it can happen at any time.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have no idea. I really don't know. I mean, I've how do I say this? My wife's been scratched in the face once, and it wasn't me, but but it never left a mark. So I don't. I mean, her scratch kind of left a mark, but anything that's happened to me hasn't left a mark. So, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things I know it happens, but it hasn't happened to me. So.
Well, you know, what's really funny about it is the only other person that has ever been attacked at Madison was actually my dad.
So what's the family history? No.
I don't know. I really do not know. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, I've started to come more and more into my own as an investigator. I mean, yeah, I've been doing this for quite a while, but being in the leadership role, I mean, I guess I've become, you know, I've tweaked my techniques a little bit. I've become more of a leader than I have, you know, anything else.
This is something else that was on my notes that we're going to talk about, but we got it for the roundtable. We got into the religious protection more, you know, more in depth than I actually originally had planned. But yeah. It's different being a leader than just an investigator on a team.
It is. You know, I'm sure you've seen my post on Facebook before and everything about, you know, me stepping down from the group for a while and everything. It got to the point for me where it was just so much at once, and it was just so much responsibility and everything else. But, you know, I got emails, I got phone calls, I got text messages, you know, I got, you know, Facebook messages from people from California up to New York and Maine and Rhode Island and everything saying, you know, you can't quit. This is what you love to do. You know, if you leave the paranormal community, you're going to, you know, they're going to be losing a good investigator. You know, they're going to be losing a good leader. And, you know, I know even my dad has told me before, you know, he's like, he doesn't want me to leave and stop doing this because, you know, I am CPRS. You know, I'm the one that has put a lot of the brain work into it, and, you know, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I was going to mention that in the chat room, but I was going to just let you finish your thought before I interrupted you.
Oh, no, I saw him. It kind of threw me off there a little bit, but, you know, yeah, I mean, it's just, it makes me feel good to know that, you know, there's that many people out there that I guess you could say look up to me.
Right. Or respect you, at least. We can go that far.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and a lot of the networking I've done, and you know, a lot of the people I've talked to and relationships I've had, and you know, it's just I don't think I could change that. I mean, I stepped away from the group for a couple days, and you know, it was almost like I was going through withdrawals. I mean, you know, it wasn't like I was shaking or anything like that, but it was kind of like, you know, I wonder what's going on at this location. I wonder, you know, what's going on with this team. You know, how is this team's investigation? You know, and it's just, it's one of those things that's always going to be on my mind, regardless of what's going on. You know, it's like Ken just said in there, you know, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And this lifestyle, you know, you may choose a lifestyle or a lifestyle may choose you. I mean, I think at this point, the lifestyle's chosen me, and all I can do with it is take it and run with it and see what I can do.
Yeah, I was talking with Daniel Boutz of Grand Dark Conspiracy about this, about how the life cycle of an investigator, how you first start believing you come in so excited, you think orbs are real, and, you know, you come in guns blazing, you just want to capture something. And you do that for a while, and then you start wanting to learn, and you learn as much as you can, and then you realize how stupid you were for thinking that dust was a ghost. And then you investigate for a while, and then you come to a moment where you're like, where you were at there, like, it's right, you know, you're not the same person you were a year ago. It's become, exactly. You've become a different beast, and you don't recognize yourself, and you get scared. And you take some people it takes days or, you know, weeks, and then you know, there's that moment of truth. Did they keep going, or did they just walk away from it?
Exactly, and you know what? Our story for CPRS, we were a part of a group. Actually, there's 5 founding members of. I mean, it sounds bad. There's 5 founding original members of CPRS. We all came from the same group, and we got tired of this group's policies. I mean, it's not that we were breaking the rules or anything like that, but
Too many of them?
but, well, let's put it to you this way. I'll tell you how we came to the idea of forming our own group, and you tell me your opinion of it. Eric and I had actually set up an investigation for our teams. You know, I ran a Cleveland chapter, and he ran a Youngstown chapter. And it was a joint investigation at a state park. It was an outdoor park, you know.
Okay, following you so far.
And so the founder calls me up and, you know, saying, hey, there's not a lot of people going. You know, it's a pretty far drive from Cleveland to get down there. You know, he's like, I think I'm just going to call it off. You know, he's like, it looks like it's going to rain. You know, I just think, you know, I'm just going to call it off. That pissed me and Eric off because, you know, him and I set this up. We put all the legwork into it, and, you know, it just really pissed us off. And Eric and I and two of the other members who actually started CPRS with us, we decided to go on the investigation. You know, we're like, you know what, screw it, we're going to go.
Right.
You know, regardless. You know, you're 45 minutes away down in Akron. You know, I'm not trying to give any names out or anything. I'm not going to do it because that's a group that I've put out of my life, and
No. We're not. We're positive energy here. We don't care about them.
Oh, exactly. You know, and
hence earlier why I didn't throw somebody straight under the short bus.
Exactly. So, you know, Eric, Diana, Anna, and myself all went on this investigation, and I tell you what, it was the most perfect weather. It was maybe 72 degrees outside. It wasn't humid, not a drop of rain in the sky. You know, loved it. We had fantastic activity when we were out there, and I get a call the next day. Hey, you went on that investigation last night. I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm like, because if I'm given the chance to investigate, I'm going to investigate. Plain and simple. You know, I'm sorry. I'm an investigator. Plain and simple. You know, and, you know, he's like, oh, hell, well, did Eric go with you? Did this person go with you? I'm like, no, you know what? You're going to have to call them and talk to them. You know, I'm like, and as far as I'm concerned, this is my resignation. I stepped down. And I left the group, and it was kind of funny because on the way down, all four of us were sitting there in the car driving down to the location, and we're like, hey, you know, what's the worst idea? You know, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if they find out we went on this investigation? And I remember just sitting there in the back seat, and I just look at everyone and go, well, you know what? If they find out, we'll just start our own group. And you know what? A year later, CPRS is formed.
Yeah, as they say, the rest is history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say to that?
I don't well, let's back it up a second. I don't understand the team of chapters to begin with.
This team is actually spread out to about 8 states and has about 27, 28, maybe 30 different charters.
I don't follow. I mean, I think I know where you're talking about, so we'll talk about that off air, but yeah. I mean, as you being a team founder, you understand the headache that I know you have, that I've had, running a team in one singular sensation.
I have a hard enough time controlling 11 people rather than
8 states.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Okay, so
hell, I can't even remember what the hell I'm doing half the time, let alone what other people are doing.
Yeah, I'm lucky to remember. I'm lucky to remember it's Tuesday and get on the air.
You know what? All week, especially when I went down with Patrick to print these shirts up, I was like, "Hey, you know," he's like, "Yeah, well, we'll come down Friday. We'll meet. We'll meet. You can pick up the shirts and everything, and you know, everything will be good." And I think at this point it was like Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the entire day I thought it was Thursday.
I know
the entire day I thought it was Thursday, and I'm like, "All right, we'll see you tomorrow." When I left, and he's like, he calls me after I leave, and he's like, if you're going to come down tomorrow, I'm not going to be at the shop. I'm like, tomorrow's Friday. He's like, you said you're going to be at the shop. And he's like, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm like, oh, good Lord. It was just, you know, I've been sick. You know, I've been having some problems with my health and everything. And, you know, it's just my concept of time has just been completely thrown off. So.
All right. So let's bring it back here. I'm going to flip.
Sure.
You're listening to the Malliard Report on the Shark Radio Network. Yes, I did it right again. So people have been asking for attendance numbers and all this other stuff, and I promised them at the bottom of the hour, and we're 6 minutes past, so
Sure,
I guess
no
I
problem.
probably should do that. All in all, we raised enough to send 55 boxes overseas.
That's awesome.
So we'll start there. Had a paid attendance of 27 and had, 41 total come through from either clients of the Ark. They have some special handicapped people that come through and do their events, and some children that were there. So 41.
Awesome.
Plus
That was a
plus
pretty
all
good
of us
turnout.
that were there as table holders. So it's not. I mean, there was probably 41 of us there too. So having
Well,
a
I
good
know
time.
my team came packed. I mean, I felt kind of bad because when we walked into the Ark there, and we walked around that divider wall there. I see all these teams. They have 2-3 members there. I'm there with 7 people, and I'm like, oh wow.
Well, not Rose. Claire had 8 members there, so you weren't the only
Okay.
one.
Okay, cool.
So, and I had all my team members there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you were hosting it, so you had to be the gracious host. So,
Apparently, I wasn't, but that's okay.
hey, well, you know what? You were awesome with us, and that except for you saying, what was it, Sunday when I talked to you last? You're like, oh, I didn't even know what you had set up on your table.
Well, I really didn't. I don't know what. I don't even know. Truthfully, I don't even know. I knew what we had set up on our table, but I don't know what we ended with on our table.
Are you talking about your table or my table?
My table. I have no. I did not look at a single table. It wasn't just your table. I was too busy. Like I told you, I was too busy talking with the people to look down and see what was going on.
I mean, it was awesome, meeting everyone, and every time I looked at you, you just had this look on your face, and you were running in a different direction every other time, and it was just, I mean, I just had to laugh about it a little bit because I don't think I sat at my table for very long either. I was out and about.
I was going to say, every time I was looking for you, you were outside either smoking or running here, or running there, talking to somebody else. So you understand exactly what I was going through, minus the obligation.
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, it's one of those things where I really enjoyed. It's kind of funny because people always tell me, I'm not a very big, I'm the type of person, I hate crowds. I mean, I absolutely hate crowds. I hate going to movies on Friday nights. I hate going, to concerts, things like that. Anytime there's a lot of people, and I've had several of my friends tell me, hey, you do a good job, networking with people and everything like that.
I think that's different. There's a
It
difference
really
between
is.
going to a baseball game or a concert and then being in a room full of people that you want to talk to.
Exactly. I mean, you're in a room full of people that have, the same interests as you, everything like that. So, it was a good time, though. I mean, it really was a good time.
Yeah, I kind of, like I said, I was telling people, once my initial, because I donated the building space to put it off, and once that initial donation was equaled by what the people brought in, I was a happy camper, because I could have easily just said, here's, the money to support our troops and been done with it, but to raise, I forget what it is, 5 or 6 times of what I donated for the building. So it was a good investment on my part for the support of our troops, so that's all that matters.
Definitely. You know what? You did it, I mean, you did it with a lot of people that have the same common interests. You brought a lot of people together, and you were supporting a very good cause.
Yeah, that was the important thing. I mean, somebody asked me, well, actually the post commander said, I know how your team's doing financially. We don't do financially, so obviously, it's easy to know how we're doing.
Yeah.
He looked at me and said, you didn't have to do this for us. You could have did it for yourself and been a little bit ahead. And I said, yeah, I know, but I didn't want to.
Exactly. I mean,
you've got to give back to somebody at some point.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's not always about you. And, I think Audrey on your team is an active duty or is just coming off active duty.
Just coming off active duty. So, and we've had a couple others, and we have a couple that were. So, it's
that's awesome.
Yeah, anybody that's seen the dirty old hat knows it says support our troops right on the side of it, and that goes back that was the first hat I bought.
Yeah.
So it has meant a lot for me. So it's what I can.
I mean, I have several friends that are in the military. I've had family members that were in the military. So I mean, doing something like this is it's awesome. I mean, it really means a lot to me to be able to supply my time.
Yeah.
Going towards something like this.
Yeah, it was humbling when I got over to the post that night because they were doing their weekly dinner, and like I said, I was talking to the post commander for a second. Yeah, it was a touching moment we shared, and like you said, it could have very easily turned out much different, but it didn't. But so everybody's asking me. Well, ask me the famous question about 6 o'clock Saturday.
What's that?
The question I've been asked probably 400 times since 6 o'clock Saturday. Just after the event was over, there's been this one question.
Was it worth it?
Was it worth it? Yes. Of course it was worth it. And the other famous question is there going to be another one?
You know what? Let me know, because, yeah, I mean, I'll jump on it with you. CPRS would love to team up with Meadville Paranormal and, maybe do it at a halfway point and, make it even bigger.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think maybe we should, maybe that's not even you. Maybe we should jump. What was that line? I'm forgetting because of the shark. We have jump the boat. There we go. I'm looking forward to the next few. I'm still on my week off, everybody. Before anybody gets any bright ideas about messages they want to send me, you can send them Saturday. I'm not talking about another event. I'm not even looking forward to another event.
Well, I'm going to put this out to you and your team right now. Rod Perrier from Ohio Paranormal Project and myself, we are doing a meet and greet up at Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio on November 12th. I don't think we're going to charge anything to get in there. It's just going to be a small little thing. The building is fairly big. I mean, it's not as big, but it's still pretty big.
Right.
It's just going to be a small thing. It's to get a little more attention to Madison. I love Madison. It's like a home away from home for me. So Rod and I have talked about it, and we're in the process of setting things up for that. And we are going to. He's from Akron. We're from Youngstown, and
right.
Him and I have both agreed that anybody who would like to donate. We're going to look for non-perishable food items, canned food, things like that, things that don't have an expiration date on them. And at the end of the day, we're actually going to split those and donate it to a food bank here in Youngstown and one in Akron. That's
pretty cool. I've met Rod at a meet and greet in Erie, actually, matter of fact.
Yeah.
So, nice guy.
He's a really nice guy.
I've tried to get him on the show a couple different times, but like I said, I'm almost booked through November, so.
Hey, that's good for you.
Isn't it? I don't know how. I don't know why people listen to this show. First off,
hey, don't. That's what I tell my team all the time. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know how I'm getting on so many radio shows. I don't know. Because actually, this was kind of a spur of the moment kind of thing.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
you were just one of those lucky people when I was looking for guests that were.
Hey,
willing and able.
It was one of those things where. When we had talked on Saturday, you're like, all right, you're coming on Tuesday, we're going to talk about the Spark. Hey, all right, that's fine with me. And I feel kind of bad because no one really from my team has really done any radio shows or anything like that. And
if they want to do one, if they want to have their voice heard, I'm all about the investigator as the promos go. So I like talking about how it impacts their life. They don't have to be a team founder, so send them my way because.
That's exactly what I've told them. I told them, I'm not the one that always has to be doing it. I feel kind of bad that I'm doing this, and they're like, no, they're like, you do it, you go ahead and do it. I don't know if I just have that radio voice or, what it is, but it makes me feel kind of bad that no one else is really doing it, but hey, it works.
Yeah, anybody out there that's listening, if they want to jump on my show, I'm all about promoting. I'm going to promote Russ's event here coming up. The event in Jamestown will be coming up. I'll be promoting it. I'm missing one, but that's okay because I'm sure somebody will send me a message.
Mark from Summit Paranormal just asked from Akron. Yes, Rod Perrier founded a group called Ohio Paranormal Project. He is based out of Akron.
There you go.
So, and I believe Ken just asked a question here too. Ken from Portal.
Oh.
I'm trying to see here. I swore he.
Well, if he wants to ask it again, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I want to mention Lady J's novella. She's going to be my sponsor of the show.
Awesome.
For the next few weeks because I've been using the Spark for so long that I really don't. I don't know what else to talk about. So, like I said, I'm not going to mention my new event until we confirm we're going to have it. So, so I needed something. So her novella, I don't know when it's coming out. Do we have any idea, Lady Jo? Because I haven't actually talked to you about that in a couple of weeks. Because I've been so frantic for the Spark. So shoot me a message. I'm working on her website right now. I'm a horrible web designer, but somebody thinks I'm going to manage to put something together for her. So.
Hey, that sounds like me in the radio shows.
Well, you know what? At one point, I thought about being the guest, so to speak. Going around and being on different shows. So I sent out like 10 different messages to 10 different hosts.
Oh yeah.
And I got one back, and I said, okay, sure. That's cool. And then I started doing the show, and then now it's like everybody wants to have me on their show, and I'm like, what do the can of work? I'm getting it from both ways, and it's like, oh goodness.
Yeah. Actually, Ken from Portal, I believe it was him that asked or talked to me on Saturday about George Lopez.
Right. I've listened to part of him because he's on right now too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
He said that he was gonna request me as a friend and everything else on Facebook, and I did get that suggestion there, Ken, and I did add him. So thank you for that connection. Yeah,
Ken's on there quite a bit, and I've listened to one of our friends, Rebecca from Antietam's been on there a couple different times. So.
You know what? Rebecca was just on there. I think a couple weeks ago, because I think Ken and I were giving her a little. We were kind of poking fun at her a little bit.
She's another one of those people that are hard to get on my show, but she'll go on some other people's shows. I don't understand.
You know what? Rebecca is, Becky. I've talked to her before. Ken's talked to her before.
Yeah, I've talked to her a couple times. I understand it, but it's kind of fun. I like ripping on people that I know.
Exactly. She's just like, I don't like doing radio shows. I don't think I sound good. Da 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 da. And after her first show that she did, I think it was with George, and Ken and I both were like, you sounded. You sounded fantastic. There's nothing really to worry about. It's not like you're standing out in front of you're on a stage in front of 20,000 people. You're sitting in front of your computer.
Have you ever talked to her husband, Jeremy?
Oh, I met them. Actually, we had started networking a couple months back.
Right.
And the kind of funny story about this is I actually won tickets to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum Celebrity Weekend.
Oh, cool.
Celebrity Weekend had Steve Gonzalez, Dave Tango, Cece the Huntress.
I wasn't invited.
Well,
wait, I'm not a celebrity. Never mind. Anyways, continue with your story.
It was, who else was there? Chris Fleming and KJ McCormick. They were all there. And, I really, I talked to quite a few of the tour guides from, I stayed in touch with him since, it's been almost 2 years now, actually, since I've been down there. And, I still talk to him on a daily basis and everything. And Trans-Allegheny was doing a little, contest. They're like, hey, first person that calls in and names 5 of our tour guides. I have all of them on Facebook as friends, so...
So you cheated?
I'm like, no, I knew all of them. So I just called in real quick. I'm like, hey, da-da-da-da, whatever. And they're like, hey, you won 2 tickets. And it was on a Thursday, and I had to leave on Saturday. So it was kind of like, but Antietam was down there, and they were volunteering down there. And they were helping out, being pushers and everything else for the tour groups that went through. And, I spent some time and talked to Becky and Jeremy and a couple other teammates and everything. So, I love the group to death. They do a lot of good networking for me. I post their link on our page all the time. Between Ken, me, and Becky, all the groups that we have on our Facebook page, they've probably been posted once or twice by each of us. So
yeah, I'm horrible at that. I do it once in a long while. I just don't. I don't know. I'm just horrible at it. Too many things in my mind.
Some people are good. Like everyone, like I've had my team members tell me. Everyone has their strengths. Mine would be, networking. Doing
so instead, I'm just going to bring you on here and make you talk about your team instead of posting your links on Facebook.
There you go. It's a more personable way.
I think it is. I enjoy it.
It really is, because honestly, when you're just typing back and forth and networking and everything else, I know, we kind of live in a lazy generation now where not a lot of people still like to read.
Right.
If they toss on a show, a radio show or something, and just listen to that, hell, they're all about it. they can just sit there and just listen to it. Whether they're listening to it or not. That's another story.
Well, hey, as long as they're listening or have my show tuned in, I don't really care if they're listening or not.
Honestly, I don't care about the ratings. I don't care about how many people tune in and listen. If you want to listen to me ramble for an hour, hey, come on over and listen to me.
I know, that's my exact thoughts, too. Actually, what's that Lincoln quote? There's a Lincoln quote that at the end of this administration, there's only one person I want to be happy, and that's the person deep within myself.
Exactly.
So that's how I look at this radio show.
As long as I'm happy with myself, I did something right along.
Yeah, I mean, if I frustrate everybody, I guess that, never mind, I can...
Hey, I'm sure there have been times where my team has wanted to put a hood over my head and hang me from a tree. I'm probably pretty sure, but, we are who we are today because of everyone's strengths on our team, and that's really where our team name came from, Collective Paranormal. We all have our own strengths and our own skills, and it's a collective effort in everyone.
Right. And
if you don't come together as a team, you're just 10 people running around in the dark not knowing what the hell you're doing. You know what? I have been told several times on investigations I need to have a bell put on me. Because I have a very bad tendency to just walk away from a group and disappear and just come out walking out of a doorway and scare the hell out of people.
Yeah, you probably would need a bell, but I'm not necessarily, I don't get too far away from the group like that, but
I don't wander away too far, but like at Madison or something like that, I'll like walk into a room and just stand there for a couple seconds and kind of I guess absorb the building a little bit, kind of that night, and everyone they're doing what they're doing, flashlight session, EVP session, whatever they're doing, and I'm really kind of like just trying to tune into the building a little bit and see what's going on with that, and they turn around and I'm gone.
Yeah.
So they said they're gonna put a bell on me.
Before we forget, Collective, what's your website there? I know you're on Facebook. Let's get all that taken care of before we...
Yeah, Facebook. Facebook, if you just get on, do a search for Collective Paranormal Research Society. It is listed as a nonprofit organization. It's not the group. It's the NPO on there. Our website right now is currently under construction. Eric, who's our graphic artist, he's actually an actual graphic artist. He's designing that.
Unlike me, who's a graphic hack.
Hey, well, you know what? Everyone's going to do something.
Oh, speaking of graphics, hold on, just pause for a second. I got to thank Joel Samuelson once again for doing the Spark logo.
Yeah, awesome.
From Atlanta, Georgia. He was on my other show, Twisted Fate, months ago, I guess now. Because
How many shows do you have?
Well, I did Twisted Fate. That was with the ice-breaking moment on the old network, of course, because of the last name of the show. Okay. And my co-host, how do I say this? The part of the network. So I became a single show at that point. So that's for the genesis of the Malliard Report, because I didn't want to keep doing the same, too much baggage with the old show. So I just rebranded and moved to a different time slot. So there's this show. I do Just Roll With It with Eric Schultes, which is just a blast. It's just me and him sitting there bullshitting, for the lack of a better word, about whatever, sports, paranormal, news. We were on the air the night Osama bin Laden was killed, so we were talking about that. So it gives you kind of an idea of, where we were at.
Kind of newest headlines, kind of, thing, anything that comes up.
Yeah, anything that we want to talk about, that we don't really want to talk about on our show, because don't have time or isn't the format, because I can't talk about shit. This is a paranormal-based show.
Hey,
so I can't
anytime you want to talk about cooking or something like that.
Yeah, something, anytime we need to get something off our chest or want to talk about something different, it's a good release.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm also the co-host, guest, whatever you want to call it, on Lady J's Eclectic Artist Cave there, Monday mornings from noon to 1 or 2, whatever time, noon to 2 her show goes.
You know what, I may just have to come on to her show sometime. I'm actually almost done writing my book, and that's going to be sent out to a publisher here pretty soon, and I'm hoping that we're going to be I'm going to hear some good news from this here pretty soon.
I'm going to tell you just to let me know, and I'll connect you too, and
awesome.
She'll have you on. If not, we'll have you on some Monday, because then we can both talk to you.
Yeah, there you go.
So
there we go.
I'll book that. So
that'll work with me.
That's all I do on this network. Every once in a while, you'll hear me filling in for somebody if they get in a pinch, and so.
You're just a jack of all trades, aren't you?
Yeah, I really do enjoy talking about whatever. I like talking about the creative side and the technical side of the paranormal teams with Lady J and all that fun stuff. And then I like talking to people like you and all kinds of other exciting people that their path has been different, but I get to talk about it. It's not you can't go everywhere and talk to a paranormal investigator every day.
Exactly. You know,
So,
unlike me, that's all I talk about, so...
yeah, well, all the people that are around you are tired of it. They're glad when you come on radio shows.
Oh, yeah, I have...
Gives them an
yeah,
hour
I
break.
mean,
Well, kind of. They probably all got it on mute, but they're at least in the chat room.
yeah, you know, my roommate, every time I leave for an investigation, she's like, "You bring anything back with you, I'm gonna kill you." I'm like, all right,
If it doesn't kill me first.
Yeah, exactly, but it's cool because when I tell people, hey, I'm a paranormal investigator, everyone has a story.
That's the thing. Even if they don't believe in it, they've got that story they want to tell you anyways.
They have that one weird story that, they're like, oh, well, this happened to me, and, I saw my grandmother float across the room, or, whatever, everyone has that story, and that is actually, that's probably one of my biggest icebreakers is, hey, I'm a paranormal investigator.
The funny thing about that is I've had a bunch of people that I don't believe in ghosts, but there was this one time I seen a shadow walk across the room, but I don't believe in ghosts.
Exactly, yeah.
But what was that, though?
What did I tell you? I think it was on your radio show. I told you, I'm like, you know what? All a skeptic is a believer who hasn't had an experience yet.
Yeah, and
plain and simple.
It's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get I think our generation of investigators is gonna get there.
The shows started it for us. The Ghost Hunters, the Ghost Adventurers, and everything like that. Those are the shows that started for it. That have really gotten paranormal investigating into the mainstream. But you know what? It's groups like Antiem, it's CPRS, Portal, Meadville, WASP. It's all these smaller groups out there that are actually going to carry on this tradition of what it's supposed to be about.
Well, I woke up Sunday morning, and you know what happened Saturday. We're not going to talk about that. But I woke up Sunday morning, and the first message I rolled over and grabbed my phone and sent Fran in the chat room a text message, and I wanted to thank that incident for reminding me that we're going to get back to the grassroots of paranormal, and the grassroots of paranormal is what started it.
Yes. We are the foot soldiers of, the paranormal. It's not these shows that aren't out there. The shows that are out there are great because it was able to make paranormal investigating less taboo.
All right, Russ. Well, I've got about 30 seconds left. What do you got? Anything else you want to throw out there?
No, I mean, if you want to, whoever's in the chat room, whoever listens to the show,
excuse me,
if you want to go on over to Facebook and add us at Collective Paranormal Research Society, be sure to do that. Pass us along to your friends, and it was always great talking to you, Jim.
And we'll talk to you off air here in a few minutes.
No, not a problem. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.